every day we see breakthroughs in how we can grow different tissue parts from the brain, right ears, and also growing a nose on your forehead. And I'm going to take you through a short journey to show you how your body can repair itself. We are aiming to regenerate tissues, to grow replacement tissues from stem cells in the laboratory. And this is done by removing stem cells, and stem cells reside in many tissues and organs in your body. But we remove bone marrow from the patient's hip, and the bone marrow contains stem cells. These stem cells can be isolated in the laboratory, and they can be expanded and grown. These cells are then placed onto a scaffold or an architecture. We can't just inject the cells into the body. We need to have a way of directing them at the site and retaining them there in order to regenerate the tissue. And then these scaffolds are placed back into the body. In order to do that, we must provide nature with exactly the same template as the natural tissue. We have people who are working on developing materials that simulate these biomimetic materials, materials that mimic nature. And in this particular example I'm going to show you, this is a bone graft whereby both the physical, chemical, and mineral content is exactly the same as bone. So having isolated these cells, they can be conditioned in special culture medium to be differentiated to become basically any cell that we choose it. And in this instance, it's bone cells. We then incubate these stem cells in the presence of blood vessel forming cells, and we place them on the scaffold that I've just shown you. We culture this at 37 degrees under the same conditions as your body, with the same kind of gaseous exchange and nutrients, the sort of things that your body requires in order to regenerate and recover. I don't believe we can grow entire body systems as such, but I do believe that we can actually grow specific tissues, and these specific tissues are then placed back into the body to be able to integrate fully with the body system as a whole. We heard this morning about various pieces of tissue that's been sewn back onto patients' noses and things that got infected and turned black. Essentially, that's tissue death. And what we have to achieve a graft that will integrate with the body in such a way that it's supplied with a blood supply. And only if it has a blood supply will it be able to integrate. And 3D printing is an amazing new emerging technology. Well, it's not that new, but the applications and what we're doing with it now are. We can create these amazing printed scaffolds with different unique geometries because porosity is very important. If you're going to put a material or a graft in the body, it's absolutely imperative that cells can get into the scaffold, into the graft, and they can survive in the middle of the graft. Because if they can't, and all you have is literally some kind of integration just at the edge, you're actually going to get cell death inside that scaffold. The scaffold resorbs. So over a given period of time, the scaffold will be completely removed from the body and completely replaced by new tissue. We are really getting close now to personalised medicine. It's made individually for that patient. We're stepping out and we're looking at the body and we're looking at how the body heals itself. We're trying to recreate this outside in the laboratory to then be able to make a transplant that is as good as the original tissue. The body knows how to repair itself. It just needs a little bit of help. Where we have large defects, where we know that the tissue will never regenerate because of the enormity of the damage or the trauma, we need to give it a helping hand. By creating the kind of scaffolds that I've just demonstrated to you, made just as Mother Nature made them, giving them the right instructive cues, we can actually ask the body to heal itself using its own inherent healing mechanisms. And I believe that the future is in the making. It's in the hands of NFORC, and I believe that working together, as Ian has demonstrated time and time again, with the testaments of the patients and the surgeons and people from various walks of life, that we can achieve the best outcome for all of our patients.
This is absolutely brilliant, creating the world's first ever research centre dedicated to this most socially sensitive part of our body, which will collect major data and organize research to improve patient treatment worldwide. Well done, Saving Faces.